Hello everyone, this is Ann Katzeff of Ask Design. Welcome to today's tutorial, which is part 2 of building my first WordPress block theme. The next phase in my block theme development involved only one step, and it was a big one, the navigation menu. The process of creating the menu is substantially different from what is done in classic themes. Despite the differences, I was able to figure out what to do with relative ease. It wasn't until I got to the aesthetics that I encountered more pain points. Now, a navigation menu is comprised of various types of links. These links provide site visitors with easy access to internal or external destinations such as pages, posts, and categories. For my block theme, I had only one page with several sections, so I used anchor links. In this tutorial, I'll show you a navigation menu with a combination of all of these landing spots. And we'll begin with some content, and then we can place links to the content in a navigation menu. There are a few ways to add a new page or post. Let's go to our dashboard and look in the left sidebar for the Pages and Posts tabs. Here's the pages and the posts. They're virtually the same process, so we'll stick with pages. You'll notice there's a flyout menu for each. We'll get to that in a second. So first, let's do this. We'll just click on pages, and you get to the pages list of all your pages, and you can add a new page by clicking that button. You get the option of choosing a pattern, or you can close that and just simply start typing a title and adding some content. Or instead, let's go back for a minute. Just hover over the pages label and swing out here to this link, add new page, brings you to the same spot of the patterns. You can choose one or close that. Let's add a title, test title, add some content. And once you're finished, or maybe partly finished, you can save the draft. So those two options are true for pages or posts, but this next option is new, and it applies only to new pages. And it's a totally different pathway. So let's go to Appearance, down to the editor. So this is the site editor that we're going through. There we go. And you can go directly to Pages. Here's a list of all the existing pages. You see I've done several tests already. Now you can go up to this plus symbol and draft a new page. And you notice the term draft. And test number 44. Your only option once you give it a title is to create a draft, whereas the first two options you could either publish it right away or save it as a draft. Now, this is important to note because the navigation will list only published pages and published posts. So let's take a peek at the status. It says draft. If you're all set to put this into your navigation menu, you can change that draft to published, and then be sure to save what you just did. Once you have some pages and or posts, you can create the navigation menu. In classic themes, the menus area is a separate sub-tab under Appearance. With block themes, menus are now constructed in the site editor. There are a couple of pathways to getting where you can edit the menu using the navigation path or using the patterns path. So let's go with option number 1 to start the navigation path. We'll go to Appearance, Editor. Here's the design section. We'll go directly to navigation. And here are the two menus at my disposal. You may only have one menu. Let's click on the test one. You can move them directly by clicking and dragging. So that's pretty nice. Or if you hover over the three dots and click on those options, you can move up and down that way, or simply remove an item. And there are some actions up here. You can rename, duplicate, or delete the menu. And then to actually begin editing the menu, click on the Edit button. Okay, so we'll get back to that in a second. That was the navigation path, the easier mode. There's a convoluted mode going through the navigation. I call it convoluted because you'll see in a minute it's pretty complex, but we'll go back to Appearance, Editor, and click on Navigation, and then click on the menu itself in the content area. Everything scoots a little bit. Select it again, and then you can see this edit option up here. Edit, edit again, and you'll see we landed at the same spot, but it took so much longer, too many steps, don't like it. So now we're in the navigation edit area, and this is where the user interface, UI, gets really awkward and primitive. I felt like I entered an alternate universe. All of these items are mashed together on one line. So I found it definitely helps to open up the list view, and you can see each item there. And on the right side, make sure you've got the settings sidebar open, and you can also see all the items there. Having the sidebar and on both sides, the list view and the settings sidebar, makes it so much easier to select items and make adjustments. Okay, that was the navigation pathway. Let's explore what I'm calling the patterns pathway. The UI for this pathway is much better, but it's not as intuitive to find as the navigation pathway. Who would know to look in the patterns section? I sure didn't. Let's find it. Appearance, Editor. So we're using the site editor. And notice this explanation. Looking for template parts? Find them in patterns. We'll go to patterns. All of the patterns are listed, and you can see visual representations of them in the content area. At the bottom of this sidebar are the template parts. We want to go to the header. You'll have at least one default header. I've got my own custom header. I'll select this, and this is much cleaner already, isn't it? Let's click on that header. Again, select, edit, and we're back to square one. If I go back a page or two, maybe we can edit in this list. Yeah, so it is a little bit better visually. If you stay in this view, you can do a lot of the same things that you can do with the other pathway. I know of at least 3 ways to add new items to the menu. Keep in mind that you are essentially adding a new block for each item. But leave comments if you know of other ways to do this. As long as we're in this patterns pathway view, let's stick with it. I'll show you the other view as well. You can select an item here, hover over it, add a block there, add a block here, wherever you see that plus sign. Go to your settings sidebar, add a block here, page link, custom link, page list, buttons. Those are your different options. And that's true here as well. You get some options to add recently published pages, a page list, site logo, various things. In the list view, you could copy, or let's say duplicate, and then rename this over here with the label contact to, and then the URL. Once you know what the URL is, you put it in there and you save. Deleting items is just as easy. Select it here, delete, save. Let's go back to that more primitive view. You can do all the same things there. Navigation, edit. So this plus symbol gives you the same option as the more visually appealing method we just looked at. Add block here, add block there. Now this page list option is interesting. Its default setting is synchronized with published pages. If you want to modify the page list, let me see, there you go. You can click on that and select the edit button, and it sort of detaches it or disables the synchronized capability. Save that. Now, there are so many different things you can add to the menu. I just want to show you quickly, how do you figure out what the URL is of, let's say, a page? Ann's test, is it published? Yes, it is. See, these are drafts, so I won't have the option of adding those to the navigation menu, but this is published. Let's go, and we can either view the page from this section or right here, view it there, and just grab the URL so that you can add it to the navigation if you need a custom link. All right. Categories. Can go to posts and add categories to your menu, and to find the URL, view, grab the URL here, and add that category manually to your menu. Okay, for anchors, there are two steps. First, go to the page or post where you'd like to place the anchor. I have it on my home page, so let's find the anchor. I've got it down here, I think. Yep. I'm going to edit this page. My list view is going to come in handy here. I've got the anchor link with the entire group. Under the advanced area in my settings sidebar, I've got the anchor dash link label. So that's step one. And then step two, we'll go to the navigation menu and use a hashtag with that same URL anchor. There we go. Let me find it. I'm going to highlight it. And I've got the same identical anchor hyphen link. The only difference is that this has a hashtag in front of it. It actually tells the browser this is an ID unique to this page. Please go there. Now, a couple of pain points. I got to the point where I was styling the navigation menu, and early on in part one of my journey, I tackled site-wide colors in the global settings. These settings included links for the content area, but not for the navigation. It took me time to figure out that navigation styling is treated separately in the header template part. I had to explore different areas of the site editor to find the solution. For me, this discovery was not intuitive. To get there, this is what I did. Appearance Editor. So we're in the Site Editor. Here's the Design section. Go to Patterns because remember, template parts are listed in the Patterns. Select Header. I'm going to be more specific and select the exact header that I want because I duplicated the 2024 themes default header, renamed it Header-esque Toot, and customized my new header. And a full explanation of my customizations will come in a future blog post. For now, we'll stay focused on the navigation styling. Remember to select the header you want to style. Here are the components of that header. Click on the pencil icon next to the template part name. So I've selected the header. Go to the settings sidebar, and the Styles tab gives you the color options for the text, the background, and the links. We've got the links here, default and hover, but you must use additional CSS for any active states. Since all of the navigation was going to be on a single page, I decided to make the navigation sticky. This improves the user experience. When a user scrolls down the page, the navigation bar will stick to the top of the browser window. This became my next pain point. I'll label it 4A because there's a 4B coming soon after. WordPress offers a sticky position for group blocks. I tried applying this position to a bunch of things. The navigation block, a group block containing the navigation block, custom code in the additional CSS area, but nothing worked. I finally found some fabulous instructions by Carolina Nymark and got things to work. The problem is that a sticky position tells the browser to stick the group to its parent element. So even if you try to apply the sticky position to the template part, things won't stick. That's why we must edit each template where the sticky nav is needed. Here's a quote from Carolina. In most block themes, the site editor is a template part. To make it sticky, you need to add a new group block, enable the sticky option, and place the template part inside it. Let's do it. Open the template you want to modify. Let's go to Templates. Here I'll show you on Blog Home what I did. Let me deconstruct this for a minute. I'll bring that up here and eliminate this for a moment. I'll delete that. Okay, so here we are looking at the template part, and inside all this is the navigation. I'm going to select that template part, add before, make that paragraph into a group, and let's open it up. Take my template part and drag it inside. We can get rid of that paragraph now. Then the group gets selected. Scoot over to the right sidebar in the settings and make it sticky. Be sure to save. Not only save this template, be sure to update every template where you want this to happen. Now, I had a related pain point. I had to compensate for the height of the header. It was working, but I was landing too low, below the anchor targets. To compensate for the height of that sticky nav, I had to use some custom CSS in the additional CSS section. Let me find it for you. In the right-hand sidebar, we're looking at the settings sidebar. Right next to it is the style sidebar. and towards the bottom, the additional CSS. We're going to put the CSS in this section. Let me show you first what happens with that anchor link. When I click on it, you can see it scoots right below where I want it to be. So I have to compensate for the height of this blue navigation bar. I'll add the CSS that I need, save it, and then let's go back to the top, refresh our screen, click on that anchor link again, and you'll see how it behaves correctly now. Okay, so this was step 5 in my journey overall, all about the navigation menu, which is a huge topic. And I'd love to hear about your journey. Join us in sharing with us what you're going through, what your main pain points are. We can all learn from each other's experiences. Thanks for your time. I hope this tutorial was useful for you. Take care.